That's getting crazy. What the heck?
So the Bob Ross voice box thing.
This makes some nice little clouds that just float around and have fun all day.
Yeah, that'll make you smile every time. Anyway, decided to do something a little different today because I didn't have a bunch of stuff primed up. Actually, sort of did the opposite of some priming today, and I'll let you take a look at that. Let's go to the camera. A little different view than what you're used to, but so yeah, these guys are floating in some purple stuff, and as you can see, like, it strips a bunch of the color off. The Mortec guard that I did in the green and the purple and all that, didn't really like the colors, so they're now floating in here and trying to get cleaned up. So, no real painting today, but I did want to do something that I hadn't done on here, which is a unbox of one of the new, this is actually one of two models that don't come in the core set. This is Hulk, the other's MODOK, but I didn't want to do him yet on the stream. He's hiding over there in the corner. But I hadn't done an unbox, and I hadn't seen an unbox on Hulk or an assemble, so I figured, what the heck, I'd give it a shot and see what happened. So, I mean, yeah, it's completely wrapped up, still in the plastic. Still smells fresh. So, we'll just put that in off to the side there. Let's see. You won't like me when I'm angry. Probably won't like him when he's happy. So, comes with the extra tokens and stuff that you need for Hulk. Some extra wound markers, some power. Comes with his card and the mission setup that you get with him. But we're not going to show all that fun stuff because, well, yeah, we're not going to. Huh. I did not know this came in there. What is this? Oh, okay. So where the other one was well, the only one that I've opened up is the starter box. So you get to read this first. Yep. And then the handy dandy instructions on the back here. So we're going to set this off to the side because I'm going to need that. And then we're going to take a look, and nothing left in the box. So we got our instructions, we got our cards, and then we got the all-important sprues. Now, after I did the starter box, I think they've actually gone back and released a PDF now that has all of the numbers associated with the instructions that are in the... Because, like, if you look on here, the pieces are numbered. It's hard to see it. There it is, number 18. So the pieces are numbered, but the instructions don't have the numbers on them. But from what I understand, somewhere on Atomic Mass's website, see, like there's no numbers, but somewhere on Atomic Mass's website, there is a PDF that you can load that has the instructions that actually have the numbers. So I don't know if that was like an oversight or if they didn't know what pieces were getting numbered what or what happened there. But so I'm gonna just clip the base real quick. Very simple, very easy. Set that with the pile of dead sprues, and then there's a little notch left when you do those sometimes. Just notch that off. Just a little scraper to where that is nice and smooth. Alright, so it says to start with is noggin. So, just a pair of plastic cutters. I did get the little fancy ones that have, they sort of overlap, so it doesn't leave as much of the sprue on the bottom. But whatever your surface is, you put that bottom toward that, and then clip. And then the back of his noggin. Yep, that is an official term. Noggin. So, if you haven't put any of these kits together, when you put them together, there's a little, or especially when you cut them off the sprue, there's a little spot. Look right there. All we're gonna do is just use this. This is just a mold line remover. You could use the back of the hobby knife. The only problem is then you're using the back of the hobby knife, and I take enough chances to cut myself with a hobby knife and don't really need extra ones. So just pull that off of there like so. And then one thing that I like to do before I try to start gluing stuff is just make sure that it actually matches up, because sometimes you'll find like a little piece of plastic or something that's going to hold the model apart. So like dry fitting this one, I can see that there's a little spot. Probably need to clip that right there. There's a little seam up there in the top of his head. Would it bother anybody? Probably not, but it would bother me, so. So I'm just going to put that like that. Now I know that I'm going to have to put a little extra pressure right there. So just grab the handy dandy glue. And I've got my toothpicks over there, and I always intend on using my toothpicks to spread the glue out, but sometimes I don't. So just take that little spot of glue and push it around. We're going to need more. then we'll end up with too much, and then I'll end up gluing this to my finger, and it will be fun. So a little bit right there, and we're just going to take the corners of his head. I'm going to try to avoid that spot where I've already got some super glue on my fingers, and we're going to press to try to get that gap right there as small as we can get it. We'll hold that for about 10 seconds. And so with just a little bit of pressure, cleared it up pretty good. So that's going to be like down into the model. And this little gap right here, hell, it's not even really showing up. That's cool. So what I'll do is I'll wait for that glue to dry just a little bit, and I'll run that the seam around it, and what'll happen is it'll just take that off there. It'll smooth that out. Now I'm assuming this is his left arm. That's a foot, that's a leg, that's an arm, there's an upper part of an arm, upper part of the left arm. We're going to go with piece number 8. And then I think it's going to be that one. I could be wrong. Like I said, it's sort of hard to tell. Alright, it's going to be that one. It's going to be piece number 9. The one right beside it. Imagine that. Just snip that off. Now, sometimes it's better to leave, like if they're, especially if they're at the edge, sometimes it's a little better to leave the little bit there. But like this one came up with a real nasty one. So I'll check the other piece. I'm not so worried about this one up here, besides it just making sure that it clears where it's supposed to go into, but then we'll go up here along the top. Check some of this down there. There's just little pieces of plastic, so a little bit of pressure and it comes right off. Make sure that that's all going to fit together. It should, with a little bit of pushing. So I don't really want to put the glue down in those little holes, because when I try to press the little pegs past there, it won't. I won't want to go in because there's already liquid in there. So what we'll do is we just run it around along the edge. I'll stick my thumb in it, of course, because I'm already starting to stick. God damn it. So much for a kid's show. PG-13 just went out the window too. Alright. So it put a little too much glue on there. And now I'm sticking to the model. That's alright. So there's a little bit of a gap along his arm right there. And I'll show you what we do with that in just a second. I'm going to set that down, let my fingers dry off from some of that glue. Remember there was a little bitty mold line up here. All I do, you can take the back of a blade and run it across there, and it'll do the same exact thing. But like I said, between trying to glue my fingers together and 2 little pieces of plastic, I take enough risks with this. So just taking a little bit of that plastic and scraping it will, it basically takes a little bit of the plastic from the left and a little bit of plastic from the right and sort of jams it down into that little gap. And with the little gaps, that's really all you need. Now, where I came back here, and you can see I glued my fingerprint right onto that joker. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to take the scraper and just really lightly come up over that. Actually, I'm going to wait a little bit for that to dry because there's still some wet right down through there, and yeah, we don't want the scrapes going down there and getting glued into it. So take the edge of this, and right there along that gap, you just run that scraper. Yes, I did. So I didn't glue my finger. Robin asked if I'd already glued my fingers together. I didn't glue my fingers together. I actually glued myself to the piece. That's right. We're like not even 10 minutes in, and yep, I'm already glued to the damn thing. Don't worry, I'll do it again. So just running that down there along there, along that seam. And sort of fills that gap. Don't want to push too hard. You don't want big scrape marks on there. But I also don't want, big Justin fingerprints on the arms of him either. Alright. Left hand. Nope. Right. Of course that's going to be the side that's going to be up. That'll be great. So we're going to clip his hand. Hold on 1 second, folks. And that was my brother telling me that the program that I currently use that uses this camera has apparently gone way up in price. And there he is. Hi, Brian. So, we're just going to put a little bit of glue there. And voila. Make sure I turn my mic back on. All right. So, like I said, I'll use the scraper to clean this up. All right. Let's see. Now it goes to the other arm. That's feet. Here's an arm. So what is this? Part number 4. Now, let's see if I can glue this one together without gluing my finger to it. Anybody want to place any odds on that? It's probably going to be, yeah. So Brian said, don't get the Razer Kiyo if you're wanting to do a webcam for streaming. What is that? Just taking that plastic off there. Not so worried about it on that end, but we'll still run it off there just so it clears up when I put his wrist on there. As always, dry fit the model. Make sure it's gonna go together. Looks like that's gonna be good. Now, let's see if I can glue like my finger completely to it this time. Really need one of those ones with like a brush. Or maybe like the needle nozzle. Let's see. Brian says that camera is grainy as hell and looks like I'm shooting a video in the 1800s. Okay. But you have to do the voice. Okay. And what we're going to do here is we're going to spread the glue all over the plastic like this, see? Too much? Whoa! And there we go. And it glued it for like 1/10 of a second to it. Somehow I got glue on the tip of my finger there. Alright. Just press it down. Old-timey music. Old-timey music and title screens. That's all you need. Luckily, they should be copyright free. So maybe you could find something that would make it look like like the shutter or something. You had to get that camera shot. Damn it. Oh. So, not a whole lot through here to blend up. I mean, you don't really have to do too much into this. There you go. Clear that down into there. Just clean it up a little bit. Now I gotta get the Hulk smash fist off the sprue here. Hulk smash. And there's a little injection port. I don't know if it would mess anything up, but I just like to clean it up. I mean, it's not going to be seen, so I'm not too worried about it. I just want to make sure that it's going to fit. And luckily, they've made it to where the fist only goes like one way. So, alright. So we're going to have to put a little bit of pressure on it, but not too much. Man, that didn't sound right at all. So, just a little bit of glue. I shouldn't be able to glue myself to it this time. And about 10 seconds is all you need. And Viola. Hulk fist. That didn't sound right. Alright. So his chest and his back. One there. One over here on that shoulder. Clip that off there. His chest is free. Something in my room is about to explode. Spot there. A spot down there. So far, I've glued both the arms. The one arm was very temporarily. This one I'd like really glued to it and had to pry it loose of my hand. That was magical. I'm not gonna clean these up too much because I'm probably gonna have to scrape the corner to hide that seam. Not that there's, like I said, there's typically not that much of a seam, but it's just me being picky. Like a good primer is gonna hide it. It's not that big a deal. So I'm back off the camera again. How about I actually put that up there? Alright, so we're gonna test fit that. There's 4 little posts. I'll play hell ever getting this apart. Looks like it should go well into that, into that, into that, like that. You know what? I'm just gonna cheat. There's a little seam up in there. I'm going to put a little drop of glue up in there and let that just sort of seep into that seam. Same thing up over there, and then down in there. Because, damn it, that actually looks pretty damn good. Oh, hey, look. Still managed to do it. That's awesome. Yep. Still tried to glue my finger to it. Absolutely perfect. Alright. So. Oh, it actually, like. Okay. So. God. Alright. So what's happening is that glue's leaking out of the arm, where I was like, oh, this will be easy. And now, that nice clean molding that they had across there now has glue scrapes. That's perfect. Alright, so I'm just going to stick a little bit of glue up there. Apparently I'm squeezing that out every time I touch this model. Damn it. Alright, I'm going to set that down for a minute. Get all the glue I can off of my hands so I stop putting little fingerprints all over it. Yeah. So where that glue was dripping out, we're just going to use that and plug it up. Same thing with the other arm. And we're going to hold that in there. Hopefully not glue our fingers to anything. There. Ah, son of a. Where the hell did that come from? So, a nice smooth model that we had that we're going to be working on now has little fingerprints all over it. I'll have to go back and scrape a couple of those and try to clean that off. Like right there on his chest. Just a nice little fingerprint. And there on his back, just a nice little fingerprint. We'll wait till those dry up and I'll have to scrape it a little bit. Yeah. Alright. So now we're going to go down here to his feet. Let's see. So far, we've got the torso, the head. I didn't glue myself to the head. That's the only piece that I haven't glued myself to yet. I did qualify that with yet. There's that. There's that. Try to dry fit these real quick. There's that. We'll scrape that one off when we go to put it together a little bit more. In an attempt to not glue my fingers together, I'm going to try to glue it around the posts. Let's see if that works. Uh-oh. I may have successfully got around a piece and not glued myself to it yet. I said yet. So just a little bit of a seam right there. Or actually, just... It's not much of anything. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run that across it. And what it'll do is it just blend those two pieces together. I don't want to push too hard because it is right there on the edge. And if I push too hard, then we'll get up with this flat thing across his ankle. And it's going to be like, what the hell is that? If you get sandpaper, that'll work. Same thing on the inside. Just run it over there just a little bit. Oh, too much. There we go. So now I have successfully done a foot and the head and not glued myself to them. We do another piece, and this is a streak. Right there. And right there. There we go. So, I think these are going to go together pretty well. Yep. So we're going to, it worked so well on the other one, I'm going to try it again on this. We're just going to put the glue around the posts. You come back to, ooh, yeah, Gravity works that way. No. Oh, see? There's a little bit of glue right there hiding. Just waiting for me to put my finger into it. Just being quiet, biding its time. So then we'll just run this around. Like there's a little, let's see, can you see that? Right there at the edge of his foot, there's a little spot. Just a couple passes. We're not really putting a whole lot of weight on it. Scrape that. blow it off. Now it looks like one piece of plastic instead of two fused together. So go down there. Not worried about the bottom of his foot. We're not going to see that. It's going to be on the base. Holy crap, we're on a roll. So now this is like upper leg and hip. I'm hoping, because I'm not really looking, they had the sense to put the two parts of the hip that go together on the same sprue. And it sure looks like they did. So, just pushing that together, it went together pretty well. And I don't think that joker is going to come apart, so I'm not going to try to force it, because we're going to be gluing this into the into here, and then like the other leg is going to stick over here, so I'm not worried about it coming apart once it's all glued together. So all I'm going to do is, like where this little seam is right here on his Hulk pants, we're just gonna, where that little knob was, and then we're just gonna run our scraper over that just a little bit to hide that little line. Don't have to put a whole lot of pressure on it, don't have to scrape a whole lot. That side, and then the inside of his leg does sort of the same thing. There we go. So there's, I guess that's his left hip. Pop that there, and that up there, and now we've thrown the piece into the floor. There we go. Oh, loads of fun. Not too worried about that one, just want to make sure that it's flush. Don't see anything that's going to show really well, or show, yeah. It's just not going to show, damn it. That one right there might. So we'll just, how about I get it over here where you can actually see it? There we go. So because I'm going to be gluing these together and then gluing them at the bottom of the leg, I'm not too worried about it. We'll try a dry fit and see how it, if it pops together and then just pops back loose, we may, yeah, we're going to have to put a little glue on that. Because it's just beep beep. So, give it a little spot of glue right around that post shot. And that one, that one. Now, as it's already starting to run, and it's going exactly toward my fingers. Let's see. Shoot, we missed. Yep. And there I am, glued to it. Alright. So set that down for a second. Try to get all the glue off my fingers that I can. And then I'll try to wipe off. I don't want to let it set too long because then I end up with paper towel stuck to it. Wipe that back off and try to press that together. Just a little bit closer. And very gently. Right where that seam is. There's a bunch of details right in there that I don't want to hit too hard. But right here on the inside of the leg where I sort of glued myself to the thing, I'm not so worried about it. There we go. Sort of scrape that out. Viola. Now, it says to glue that. Good Lord. Well, that fits in there so snug that I'm not worried about it. Plus there's a little bit of glue from where I popped that out. I think that may have been what really stuck it. So, right leg's down. I think this one is going to be a little... This one's actually going to require some glue. Because that's going to go up in there like so and pop. And it actually popped the thing loose. So, a little glue up there into the joint. Get it up in there in place and snap that back together. Just a little bit of glue came out there. Make sure I don't have it going on the other side. That piece is in there. Now, these two then go together like so. It looks like we're going to need a little bit of glue into that, and maybe just a little bit around. So I put a little glue in there, a little glue up in there. And we'll just take it, jam it together, try to minimize our seam. There we go. So, got those together. now we're gonna, these will slide up into that, down like that. What we're gonna do is we're gonna give it a little bit of glue up here on this post, around the back. I don't want too much because I don't really want it squirting out, but and then we're just gonna hold that joker as tight down as we can. This is where his upper body like meets the belt line, so we're not, I mean, there can be a little bit of a, we can hide that with some primer and all that fun stuff. So, there's Mr. Hulk all put together. I'm not going to put him on his base yet because I want to prime it and all that fun stuff, and then it also makes it easier to paint, like trying to get like underneath and all that stuff. So generally what I do to prime them is I got a ball of poster tack over here. I'll just take a little bit of that. Like he's got the big flat foot and then he's got the upturned foot. So I know I need one smaller bit and one bigger bit. And what I generally do is just stick it to his foot. Try to keep it along the bottom. And then that little arch of the foot. He's up on the toes. And I try to decide where I want him on the base. That looks good. Nope, he's gonna have to go back further. There we go. I try to make sure that I pull it down away from the edge of his foot. Huh. Oh, which one was that one from? Is that Mallrats? Or was that in... Damn, I'm forgetting which movie that one's from. Wonder who did that. Maybe someone who can't draw toes. I can't remember which movie that was from. Alright. Whoop. There we go. Deadpool 2. See? I messed that up completely. Alright. So, like, this up here, there's a little spot. It's not a problem. All you gotta do is you just take take that ripper. Just give it a little scrape along there. Like so. Just give it a little scrape, see? Yeah, I know I'm slipping. Man. Alrighty. So, I'll let all this glue dry, and especially where, you know, I messed up and put fingerprints all across his back. And I'll take some light sandpaper and remove where I put fingerprints on his back. And once I get that done, then we'll prime him up. And probably sometime this week we'll paint him up. Not sure how I'm going to get the cool fade across his muscles and everything yet. But hey, I've got a couple of days to think about it. So, not a problem. Oh, I keep rotating it off. So, Yep, there's a couple of spots where I tried to glue myself to him, especially like right up here on his arm. Yeah, I really tried. I really wanted to be part of this model, and I really tried to make it part of me. So I'll wait till that dries up, scrape some of that off, clean it up a little bit, so he'll be smooth out again. Smooth out again. Yeah, that's a word. Like right here at the corner of his shoulder, where that goes down into that muscle, we'll just run that, and then very gently across the shoulders to hide that little seam that's right there. Voila. Alright. So, that's about all we're going to do with him. Or at least for right now. So, like I said, something different. I hadn't really tried anything, or didn't really have anything primed up, and I really didn't want to try to pull the giant Demogorgon over to the camera, and I didn't want to try to paint this on stream because he is a bear. It's a D&D commission that I'm working on, and I still don't have him attached to the base. But yeah, he's yeah, it just wouldn't have been a whole lot of fun to work on him on the stream. But I'll show you some pictures later on Instagram. Like I said, with the Hulk, we'll prime him up, get him going, and probably end up painting him sometime next week. Maybe we'll also start on MODOK, but we're going to take some time on MODOK. He's got a huge face, huge face. And so we'll try to make the skin look really good. I sort of want to try to do non-metallic metal, but I sort of don't. I don't want my first non-metallic metal to be that guy and it just look like crap. And yeah, I don't really want to have to strip MODOK and start all over again. So I don't know, we'll probably just do him in a standard metallic, but we'll go through that too, and we'll do some stuff with that. We'll put some shades and some highlights on that to make that look good. Anyway, it's Friday night. Go have some fun. Huge noggin. It's Friday night. Go have some fun. Go hang out with your friends. I'll see y'all on Monday. Maybe go paint something.